And greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day. Let me get on to the heroic imagination. And greetings again. Hope everybody's having a good day there. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. There's a PayPal link down below in the details for anybody that wants to share some love. And of course, the StreamYard link is there for anybody who wants to come join the panel. Again, we're going to talk about some more of the insanity loop. As I said, I'm going to start reviewing some of these shorts and get into the psychological aspect of how this society operates and why it is so important as well as so hard to even contemplate coming out of your cognitive dissonance. And again, I was a bitch ass slave once. I was the fucking fool as well. And I may not be completely free. I don't know if that's ever going to be attainable. I do know that I'm a lot freer today than I was yesterday, the day before, and the day before, only because I keep on track of learning. That's the main problem. People give up their learning in the prospect of becoming better every day. And so they get sat in one place in a cognitive dissonance of being comfortable and convenient. And that is a severe problem. How you doing tonight, John?
Doing good, Keith.
Good. Got good weather down there still?
Weather is like, it's just crazy. It's either windy, cloudy. It's just out of hand here. It really is.
Well, it's kind of the same all over the country, I think. We had a high yesterday of, I think, like 33. Today it's 60. You know, here a couple of weeks ago, or just a week and a half ago, we had 80. It's in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa in the middle of March, and we've already got green grass growing up again. So it's a very strange beginning of this spring cycle. So I feel for you.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get started with the reviews. And again, it's just a bunch of shorts that I want to go over that point out various different dynamics of how people interact that they just seem so insane and out of norm. And that's something I posed earlier is on another platform. Is there really a normal today? I mean, as much as things are changing and how fast things are changing, is there really a norm today? And I think that's a big problem. We've gotten so far away from things that we call normal that people believe that the normal thing is sitting in front of a boob tube, eating that processed foods and poisoned drinks, and watching everybody get arrested while waiting and thinking that they're special for some reason. That's the normal. You're not special. That's what's normal. Ain't nobody special. And everybody needs to start standing up and putting away the discord and learning how to communicate with each other. And this is what I brought up last night. I've got one of my favorite books, Socratic Logic. Now, I'm not going to do a review on the whole book, but they've got an interesting introduction that I'm going to read as it's a 34-page introduction. So the whole book is like 380 pages. So this introduction in this book takes up a tenth of the book itself just for the introduction. And it's a very eye opening introduction. So I'm just going to read the introduction as far as to the Socratic logic. And so I'll go over that starting on Sunday night. I'll work on that on Sunday night streams. And then I'm going to do them Monday through Friday on these until we find some other material. And in the meantime, anybody that wants to give suggestions on material, and this is why I have the open panel, so people can come up and ask questions and bring up other topics. It doesn't necessarily just have to be on law. It would be great to get into some of the holistics and natural remedies and survival tactics and things like that for the natural men rather than the businessman, which is what we're always seem to be talking about here, is the businessman or the medical man. And so I would really like to get onto some other topics like the natural environment that we're actually supposed to be partaking in, which I've said several times. I really don't want to do this. I'm one of those guys. I want to be out there doing my gathering and acting as a steward of the land. And I've got all these people that want to pose these problems and ask for solutions. And all I can do is give sources to those solutions or possible solutions. Greetings, Hank. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Good. Good to hear that. I'm glad to see you over here, Hank. This brings about that insanity loop that we talk about with Paul Enslaved, and that, of course, is while I'm doing Paul Jr. This was one of those panels or channels that I created as part of my authors guild, so it could not be restricted. So when somebody like Paul says that he's going to excommunicate me from the community, I want to make sure it's understood. First, he's got two problems. First, you have to define the community.
Oh.
Second, when it comes to the term excommunicated, if you're not savvy with the words and terminology, excommunication is an ecclesiastical term in origin. So if you want to be true to its foundation of your language and the use of it, if you're going to say you're going to excommunicate me, I highly doubt that. However, if you want to say that you're going to censor me, that I can deal with, because now you can use their policies and stuff and try to use them against me. That might be a little bit of a struggle. But to sit there and say that you're going to excommunicate me is total idiocy. As I've said, I will create as many profiles as I need to prove that you cannot excommunicate me from the community, even if it's your community. You're the sucker. This is a metaverse. If you want to act like a man, do it to me face to face, motherfuckers. Don't use it on a metaverse in your safe space. See, that's all this is a safe space, folks.
Did he cut out or?
Oh, okay. So you didn't go up because you didn't want to do it in his safe space. You want to do it in some other place. Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah, well, think about it, Hank. Has Paul ever been on this panel?
Not that I know of.
So if it's an equal consideration and he has equal respect for me, why would he not share that? See, he goes on to Jack's panel. He goes on to Flo's panel. He goes on to all these other panels, but he's never once been on my panel. And I want you people to understand when he wants to talk about all this guru shit and how he's been through the mud shit. Ain't nobody been through the mud more than I have in my experience, even though you may equate your experience as equivalent. See, I've been through a lot of insanity, starting out when I was a little bitty baby with an alcoholic father and a mother that evidently didn't care. Thrown in foster homes and switched from place to place. And let me help you understand the psychology that went through my little mind while I was being moved from place to place every 3, 4, 6 months in those foster homes, being torn away from the only people I knew. No matter how abusive they were, that was the only thing I knew. And instead of society helping build that structure back up and form it as it's supposed to be, as a spiritual sense, and get rid of the alcoholism or helping try to get rid of the alcoholism, they dismembered the family. And so every time I moved from one place to another, in my little mind, they were moving me farther and farther away from the only thing I knew. So all my life, I've been a lone wolf telling people, you ain't my daddy, fuck you. That's my life. And I seem to be doing just fine, even after 94 cases. See, I can go into these courts and these banks and all of these medical associations where they're dealing with my companion and let them know what the truth is. And not a one of them seems to have a problem with me. I'm able to do my private communications and let them know, hey, if you want to send me a true bill, send me a true bill. When they send me this insane mathematical equation, I let them know it's an insane mathematical equation. And if you can resolve it and solve it and send me the solution, I'll be able to deal with it. But until then, I see an insane mathematical equation and there is no truth to it. I put zero value on it. I accept for zero value. And I've done it several times. So don't sit there and say I'm not doing this in real life because I have no proof on the metaverse. Come see me face to face again, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. So, and I know,
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the I know Officer Snaps and the Luma German's gonna say I'm Breaking Bad for going on the wrong panel. I kept asking over and over and over again to give me your list of approved panels. They can just email it to me and we have a discussion. They're refusing, then also claiming that they're the real men. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, let me ask you this. When Paul sat there on his panel and said he didn't want to listen to me spew out the codes, statutes, and policies, when he uses them himself, and I'm going to make another distinction when it comes to those roadside stops here, and he tells me he doesn't want to hear that on his panel, I said, okay. And that was the third time. Twice I got into him about the bit non-bit. And that was the third time. And then he brought snafu up and didn't want to let me speak. So I said, okay, I won't be back. I'm a man of my word. I won't be back. Now I want to see Paul be a man of his word and prove that he can excommunicate me from the community. Stand up to your word, you bitch-ass motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. You then turn around and say you have no respect for me. Then what was the last year and a half? Huh?
Yeah. So before
you had respect for me then. So what happened? Excuse me, Hank. So what happened in that instance that now you don't have respect for me, and now you're going to badmouth me and say you're going to excommunicate me? I've never attacked anybody. You find where I've attacked anybody on this metaverse and started calling them bitch ass names of any sort. Let me know. I'll apologize. I'll repent. But until then, I see that we're all fallible. So eat it up, boys. Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah. So pretty much what we need to do first is define what the hell the community is, because we, as far as I'm concerned, it's just random people coming in and out. So
what I'm pointing out is the community he talks about is his channel only. You can't go to Flows and say that Flow is your community. You can go to Flows and say you're part of Flow's community, but when you're out of your element, out of your community, you can't say that that's your community. You can only say that you commune with them outside of your community. And this is the ecclesiastical community. Everybody associates with everybody despite their background. This is what's called agriculture or multiculture. So be very careful in your words. Greetings, Adam Lanza. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. I was doing some lawns. But yeah, I clicked your profile and I saw that you guys were talking about a very interesting topic. I thought I'd hop up because community is a very roundabout. You guys know what roundabouts are? You guys ever been around?
It's where people can exit and move into the same community smoothly.
Sounds like that time I walked in through that J.C. Penney's door when it was like, you know how like you walk into a store and it's like a roundabout, like, oh, I'm in the club. I'm in Sam's Club today. You don't say you're at Sam's Club community, do you?
Exactly. And that's what we're talking about. You can't call it a community and say you're going to excommunicate me from it unless you know what you're talking about. Because again, particularly when you're using that term excommunicate. This goes against everything I know spiritually, because we're all already connected spiritually, even to the other creatures. Blade of grass, we are connected spiritually to a blade of grass, a speck of dust. You are made of the dust of the ground, the dirt of the ground. That's how we're all part of the community. So again, like I said earlier, you've got to first be able to define the community that you're talking about, and then show how it is ecclesiastical. You have a bit of a problem there.
I was just thinking we could look up the definition of a community and just see that it clearly doesn't fit. I thought it was like that simple. Like, I don't know the definition personally, but like when I think of community, I don't think it has anything to do with staring at atoms staring back at you on the screen.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying this is a metaverse, guys. This is a fictional verse. You understand that? It's a fictional verse. And this is why I say when you communicate, you are actually putting up fiction. You're only posing your thoughts. Okay, so your communication is just fiction. It is only real if that communication manifests something in the physical world. Okay, so let's take a look at that etymology. Etymology of community. A number of people associated together by the fact of residence in the same locality. So what is the locality? Is it in the metaverse? Fiction? How are you going to excommunicate me from a fiction? I'm not in a fiction, you dumbasses. You see the problem?
Well, unless they own YouTube, and then they own Google.
Exactly, and that's what I pointed out. You can't excommunicate me from any community if YouTube can't. So understand the principle behind an authors guild of having multiple channels. If they can't excommunicate me, what the fuck makes you think you got so much power you can, you ignorant fucks?
I have a friend who works with like Google pays them to like hack. Like the last time I saw them, they said that they hacked. Google paid them to hack the directional microphone of the Nest, whatever those things are, thermostat. And they told me scarily that you could hear the people in the house next door.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to pay me like $100,000, I could try to get Wiz off YouTube. If I could try. I can't make promises, but I can.
It'll never happen. I go out and get a new phone. I make a new Gmail account, which I can have many. It's innumerable.
Ooh.
Infinity.
Also,
and you know what? With each Google account, you can get a new phone number, a new Google phone number. You can use that phone number too. You think I helped invent this fucking internet.
Let's continue. Yeah, you did, man.
Yeah, he did.
Let's continue with this definition because the common people here,
Yeah. Also the common people, not the rulers or the clergy. The common people. If the common people, not the rulers or the clergy, then what are the community or the rulers and clergy? They are the not common people. Okay? Community, commonness, everybody. You can't excommunicate me from everybody.
Yeah.
Community, society, fellowship, friendly intercourse, courtesy, condescension, affability, common, public, general, shared by all or many.
It sounds like they're trying to sell pipe dreams like everyone else.
Absolutely. They want to sell a pipe dream. Let me point it out. Paul is selling a pipe dream that because he was an addict and he opened his eyes, and I firmly believe he's not a narcissist. He's just caught up in what's called
I call it amnesia.
Dunning-Kruger effect, where somebody comes upon a knowledge and they think it's such an eye-opener that they went from here all the way to the top and they have no further to go. This is why I say it's very important to understand every day of your life. You have a lesson to learn yet. Use it to learn. Yeah. Nothing else. I don't use my day to go around trying to trip people up. I don't use my day going around getting on people about their words. But when people try to use their words against me, you're damn right I'm going to shove them right down your throat, just like I shove them down the government. Now tell me how I don't do anything.
Yeah.
As 94 cases with 11 of them still sitting down there, including the last one that I've not done anything with, and they still haven't put any bench warrants out because I failed to comply. Now tell me how I haven't done anything. And I'm still in the same fucking community that I grew up in. Where's Paul? Every time he gets a traffic stop, what's he do? He moves on somewhere else.
Hmm.
Is he going back to address those? Same with Brian. Brian finds out he's got a warrant somewhere. Aren't you man enough to stand up and go take care of that warrant and tell them they're going to stop posing that false record? So let's talk about that stop. See, Mitch and Brian both came up on panel, as well as Young One. There's another one a couple times. So we've had about 5 interactions that show up on panel on Paul's where they get stopped by the policy enforcers. And what Paul does, he doesn't sit there calmly in his car and talk to the officer with the statutes, codes, rules, and policies like he did on his stops. He gets on the phone and starts screaming and yelling and telling them they're slaves to society. How well do you think that's going to go over?
He didn't do that at Brian stop. He didn't do that at Brian stop.
He most
A lot
certainly
better.
did.
It would go a lot better if the officer definitely did not see what he looked like while yelling at him like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is why I don't go out and do that kind of stuff. I don't go out. Just because I open my eyes up to all this bullshit doesn't mean I'm going to go out and start doing the First Amendment audits.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn from my own perspective, and then I'm going to help out one man at a time. I cannot get involved in groups, communities that go out there and protest. You don't have a right to protest, you dumbasses. Don't you read? It doesn't say you have the right to protest. It says you have the right to petition. What is a petition? It's a conversation. It's communing. It's showing that we have things in common and that what you're doing is not equal. You're doing to me what you wouldn't want done to you. What don't you see in that?
Yeah. So let me be clear. I agree with you that Paul is not a narcissist. He is a Machiavellian and probably nerd like I am. But I'm both of those, and I think Paul's both of those as well.
Absolutely, Tribe. And Tribe's another one. I wish you'd come up on panel sometime. I think you're a very intelligent guy, and I don't care what anybody else says about you. And I know we've had our own disputes, but again, I believe that you're one of those people that is a little bit more mature and gets over those kind of things and doesn't let that kind of shit hurt you. It doesn't move you off your square, so I appreciate that. My community is made up of people close to me. The internet is for exchange of knowledge and ideas. Again, just the thoughts. It is a fiction until it is made manifest. Period.
I wonder what the qualities of a community would consist of, like maybe like a newspaper, maybe like a phone book directory. People actually know each other instead of just LARPing.
Well, that's one of my next projects. Is I hope eventually that once this stuff gets off the ground, and it might still take a year or two, but I've already established my own website 3 years ago, where I publish things there. But eventually, I would like to be able to publish things in pamphlet form to start distributing through the local community to let them know I am a member of their community, and that despite what the record reflects, that I want to give to this community. I see a need that I can fulfill, not just manually, but spiritually. And again, that goes to Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And that lack of knowledge comes from the public education system, where people give their children up spiritually to a dogmatic system to teach them how to manually operate themselves in this life. So we bypass the spirit totally, not just in the spell of illness at birth, but when we turn around and hand our children over to Baal. We are handing the children over to Babylon, where the public education system teaches them an English language that is not correct and concise. And therefore, they have this delusion that they believe they know what they're talking about when they don't.
Yes, so I have been dead against the education system. They waste people's time teaching them Holden Caulfield and Giver instead of showing them, read them the codes. That's what you need to know. They waste time with bullshit literature.
I look at it in a similar way, where it's like every person that's born, like basically the system gets all the new soldiers. That's kind of how I look at it.
Well, that's why they call it an infantry, and that's why you're born on the infant ward.
Damn.
Infant. What is fant? That's a fantasy. What is fantasizing? That's imagination. That's an imagination ward. That's a person. That's what your imagination is. It's personal. He is no respecter of persons. Hey, good to see you. It is what it is TV. Another brother coming up in the ranks, putting out this information that is deeply needed, and I hope everybody goes over and checks out his channel as well. There we go. Redress, address, and undress. That's what they're doing when, at that spell of illness, is they're dressing you up in a spell of illness when you're born. So let's take a look at the etymology of commune real quick as it relates to community, because commune is the verb, whereas community is the noun, right? This goes to communism. Okay, the ideas that we portray in community that then become, that manifest by the commune, which is the verb, and it says to have dealings with, to make common, share, common, general, free, open, public, meaning to talk intimately. What is in time? Intimately, in time, now time.
Yeah.
Greetings, hard hat. Good to see you, brother.
And also, mately is like as a friend.
Right. That's that conservatorship, that citizenship, that fellowship. It's the ship. It's the crew members. Okay, let's go. Let's take a look at the first one I've got up here. This goes to, again, that excommunicating people from the community and trying to file suits against them. Pay attention, as this young man that was very creative in creating a name that seemed to be familiar. Oops. No sound. Why do we have no sound?
2004, a 17-year-old named Mike Rowe. So Microsoft almost sued this teenager for just creating a website using his own name.
No, they actually went into a suit and they ended up settling out of court.
In 2004, a 17-year-old named Mike Rowe decided to buy the domain mikerosoft.com to advertise his web design business. Mike thought this domain would be funny, but although his website was only getting 2 views each day, Mike was shocked to soon receive a letter from Microsoft demanding that he give up the domain. Microsoft claimed that Microsoft infringed on their trademark. But when Mike asked that he at least be compensated for losing his website, Microsoft only offered an insultingly low $10. When Mike received this offer, he was pretty mad. So he basically told them that he would need at least $10,000. Instead of replying to this though, Microsoft simply sent Mike a 25-page long cease and desist letter. But Mike had some balls.
25-page long cease and desist letter. That's legalese, folks.
Why do you need to say 25 pages? Why do you need to say 25 pages? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. That's why I keep my statements short. They're very succinct, I think. And if anybody has a problem with it, I urge anybody to say something so I don't sound like an idiot.
I bet it's because they thought if he was pissed, he would pay a lawyer to look that over and it would cost him more money. So it would deter him from getting a lawyer.
Correct. And again, this is one of those things that I tell people. If you can't tell the truth in court, that's the only reason you need an attorney. But if you can tell the truth, then you better know it first before you go walking into those courts. And everybody seems to think they know the truth and walk into those courts and don't know what the fuck to do. I'm telling you, you don't know the truth because you've been babblized.
Instead of giving in, he simply went to the media with his story. He quickly received $6,000 in donations and promises of legal help as well. But more importantly, the publicity was so bad for Microsoft that they eventually decided to just settle with Mike. In exchange for his domain, they ended up giving him an Alienware laptop, an Xbox, a 3-year MSDN subscription, 3 paid trips to Microsoft HQ with his parents, and even a free trip to the company store to get anything he wanted. So Microsoft almost...
So it sounds to me like Microsoft was a total failure in trying to excommunicate or, quote, censor Microsoft. You see how that works, Polly boy? So let's look on the next one.
Want to leave a room full of Gen Z women speechless? Do this.
A life without children is vapious.
Now, I don't listen to Andrew Tate very much, but this man says something very important here, and I don't care what you think about him. I don't care anything about his lifestyle or anything. It's the statement he's making, and that's the only thing I'm listening to. I don't care about the name. I care about the message.
And it's inane and it's pointless. And you may sit here and think that your career matters, but the truth is that your job will fire you at a whim and not give a second. Don't give a solitary shit. And when you're 52 and you're past it with no grandchildren in a house by yourself, and all your friends have grandchildren in this beautiful life, and you're sitting there by yourself, you think the fact that you can afford a few extra Gucci bags is going to genuinely make you feel happy? I was at my grandmother's 93rd birthday. I looked there. My grandmother had 9 children. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. You had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful. And if you sit here and genuinely think that you're going to work your ass off through your fertile years, and by the age of 54, you're not going to be suicidal alone with a cat, then you're dumb.
Want to leave a room full of Gen Z women speechless? Do this.
So it bears down on your purpose in life and how that is developed. That's that public education system where your parents give you up to a dogmatic system, and you don't have any way to develop your spiritual character to make the proper, necessary choices in life to make it true and correct. You end up in a cognitive dissonance situation where you end up common and normal, sitting in front of a boob tube watching somebody else's life, munching down that poison, the processed foods and the poison drinks, watching everybody else around you getting arrested, saying they're doing something wrong, obviously, and not thinking that they're ever going to come to your door. That's the idiocy. The next one we got is a President Trump thing.
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. Get a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent?
This goes to that aspect of being able to stand up and be a man. And in this guy here, again, I'm not pushing President Trump. I'm not a political guy. I don't push that kind of stuff. Again, it just goes to the message and how it's communicated. And you can see, instead of all the other presidents throughout history that sit there and want to pinpoint and point the fingers and everything, this here is one of those guys that's not a politician. He was a businessman all his life, entered into the political arena, became president his first term, his first run, and people were very happy with him. He did a lot for the society according to the economic scale and this and that, and trying to push truthful information and letting people know the news media was corrupt and all that. And the point here is he's not sitting there trying to push the blame off. He's accepting it and saying, well, we're not innocent either. We have to realize that we are all part of a bigger community, and we have to quit this discord of separating Russia from us and saying they're the problem. We're all the problem. And like I said on a platform earlier, the only reason they have control is because of your demand for the supply. If you stop demanding the boob tube and the TV shows to watch so you can be comfortable in your cognitive dissonance and have that convenience, then it wouldn't be there for you. You would have to do that work yourself, and that's the problem. You're a bunch of lazy motherfuckers, and you know who I'm talking about.
You think our country's so innocent?
I don't know of any government leaders that are killers.
Well, take a look at what we've done too. We've made a lot of mistakes. I've been against the
Obama.
Yeah. Obama, one of the ones pushing through the paper, he started pushing through bills. He pushed through so many bills in his term, he created a record. And that's just astounding how somebody could pass through thousands of bills in 1 year. How many bills a day is that? And how big are those? Remember, some of those bills are 300-400 pages long, and they get passed through in 1 day. How the fuck is everybody reading all those in 1 day and making a decision in 1 day?
Lawyer magic.
Exactly. It's all legalese, and they're just pushing it through, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. There are small statements in those that people will believe. And that's the problem with this dogmatic system. They use power statements to make you believe through a fear and base of the protections that they're going to give you if you go ahead and vote for them. It's pathetic. It's a pathetic system.
Why has everyone seen the logo for this oil additive, and what does STP even mean? The company started in 1954. In 1961, Studebaker bought STP and sued bought Paxton superchargers from Andy Granatelli, who was put in charge of STP, and his marketing tactics boomed. Granatelli introduced the crazy logo suit at the Indy 500 circa 1964, and STP sponsored many cars, like Mario Andretti, who won in 69. And in 1972, they started up with Richard Petty. STP stickers were everywhere, from the logo to the flower and race cars. But what did STP mean? It started as scientifically treated petroleum. Some say that Studebaker tested products appeared in advertising, but I've only ever found scientifically tested products. These days, STP means science, technology, performance. And
science, technology, performance. It's the thing that oils the cogs in the wheels. See, you people are truly the scientific technical project. See, education is an experiment. The medical society is an experiment, ever changing, and they change based on their prior testing. So again, we live in Satan's world, and Satan is the one testing us. So when they put a test before your children, think about that Babylonian language that they're teaching them, and see if even you can pass that test. See, that's the true test is coming out of her, the Babylonian language. So again, if you want to excommunicate me from the community, you got a little bit of a fucking problem, brothers and sisters.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah. Well, remember, folks, these people write this legalese in a 24th grade reading comprehension, and not many people can get above their high school graduation comprehension unless they go beyond their high school education and get books that weren't provided by their high school education, namely a concise English handbook, so they can correct their grammar that they were taught in that educational system.
In fact, I'm going to get one of those right now that you mention it.
Absolutely. I recommend everybody do that.
Adult life.
Mia.
Now, the next one we have is one of these younger generations being welcomed to the modern life as an adult. And we're going to see what she has to say about this.
This is funny. Welcome to adult life.
Mia, you only have to pay back $421.
Mom, I work a part-time and I'm a full-time high school student. I'm just a girl.
You're just a girl?
I'm literally just a girl.
But when you get paid, you're not a girl to get your nails done. Now you pay the IRS.
Yes, I am just a girl.
Mia, but
nails done.
Mia, make a payment arrangement. Make 4 payments of $100.
I can't do that.
See, here we have a young gal saying she can't deal with that. And we have a mom trying to tell her she has to, because mom was brought up in the same cognitive dissonance. And it's mom trying to institute this in her daughter because it's mom that doesn't know any better. And it's not just mom, it's dads that do this too. Again, when moms and dads both, I don't care if you're a single mom or a single dad, even the married couples do it. My own parents did it, the people that adopted me, federal government workers that don't know how the tax system works and how the Social Security system works. My dad was a real estate appraiser, not understanding that if you have a private residence, then where is the business value? He was assessing land value and handing it over to the tax assessor so they could place it as a business value when there is no such record of business. Same thing with my mom. Worked for Social Security Administration for 29 fucking years. Doesn't know the first thing about what Social Security is. Taxpayer identification number. Oh, no, it's for benefits. No, it's not. It's for taxpayers. Tell me how that's a benefit.
Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah, but I mean, my parents did something almost as stupid. That when I moved my mom's mom in and they collected her Social Security, they didn't separate that out to another account, and then they got in a big accounting mess when she wanted to leave. A lot of people don't know, and they don't know the basics. They don't know simple stuff. I'm just wondering how's the world even going? It's like it's just held together by glue and duct tape. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is if your American society has an average reading comprehension of 7th or 8th grade, how can you possibly believe that you have a strong nation? This nation is going to fall, folks, and it's going to be on your shoulders.
Oh God. My birthday's coming up. This had to. Are you recording me? Did you think this is funny?
I'm gonna send this to the IRS.
Gonna snitch on her. If you don't pay your taxes, I'm gonna send it to the IRS. That's a great concept, huh, guys? Destroying your own family from the inside out. This is where we're at.
Mommy, it's only $421.
So they're not gonna give me my $9?
Yeah, they're gonna give you the $9 for the federal. You take the $9, and your next payment you make $9 less. Welcome to tax life.
You're hurting your own household.
Say that again.
How is that funny? You're hurting your own household. You're shooting off your freaking foot.
Well, that's what people live in, and it's the discord. People like seeing their children suffer, don't you know? People like seeing their neighbors suffer. They like watching it, looking out for the lights and sirens so they can go out and hold their video cameras and film it and then put it on the YouTube so everybody can see how dumb their neighbor is. How dumb are you?
Here's the thing. It may blow back on you because they may become a sadomasochist, and the suffering is just training now. So watch what you do.
That's what I'm saying. How long do you think you're going to last, Paul, before it blows back on you? See, you got your 20-some thousand subs because of a viral video, and then you think that those numbers are supposed to keep going up while you're sitting there bad-mouthing everybody.
Well, I'm trying to prevent from blowing back on it. I'm trying to just go ahead and get us out of the loop. So
exactly. And how much do you think is going to blow back on me if I'm the one that's standing up, taking responsibility for my actions, and allowing for the reality to show that I'm the one that caused all the problems?
Yeah,
I'm accepting of that.
So ideally, I want us to avoid it blowing back on any of us, and this being resolved by the end of the week. So that's my ideal. So
yeah, and again, it's spot on, Hank. Nobody else is going to take care of your problems, folks. You have to do it. That's the main portion of the problem. You don't take responsibility for shit. Come on up. The link's down there. Again, you're one of those ones that goes over to Paul's and wants to run your mouth in the chat but doesn't go up on panel. Come on up on panel. Let's see how much I get to Hitler Nazi block your ass for speaking stupid on my panel. How's that for censorship? See, now you want to come over here and run your mouth on my panel, but Daddy Paul still won't come on my panel. Come on up, Daddy Paul.
And if you're afraid of Wizard, just come up and say I'm Breaking Bad for talking about Paul and Wizard the same day. Like I'm not allowed to do that.
I don't see you talking bad about anybody.
Well, I talk bad about Officer Snaps quite a bit, so
well,
that's
no,
all
I see
it.
you talking truth. I see you putting the truth out there. And if that reflects bad on somebody, then that's okay. They are the ones that looks bad. And again, if you want to sit there and keep holding your shit down here as if though it's going to make me look bad, how much dirt can you throw on a muddy kid to make him look dirtier? Keep slinging it. I'm one of the dirtiest motherfuckers out there. Like I said, I do walk around with a shovel. Come see me face to face and then run your fucking mouth.
So basically, Wizard just doesn't want to talk to Paul in his safe space. So
well,
be it.
Listen, like I said earlier, I'm a man of my word. He did it to me twice before, and then on the last time, he said he didn't want to hear me spewing policy, code, and statute on his panel like that anymore. I said, okay, I won't be back then. I'm a man of
Yeah.
my word. I'm not going back to Paul's. He wanted to bring snafu up and make it a bit non-bit again. I'm not your bit non-bit, bitch.
Yeah. And I myself felt that the energy just wasn't right and just left. It's really not a big deal. So I think this is resolvable. Well, many years we'll resolve it.
Hey, Hank, I made myself look like a fool to a bunch of fools. Sounds like I fit right in then. They should welcome me back then, huh?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, let's get on to the next one.
Do you remember when that cop went rogue in LA a few years back? He just started killing people. He killed a bunch of people, killed a bunch of cops. He terrorized that city for as long as he was alive. And a good friend of mine who knows a lot about the military world and the tactical world said, listen, man, it would take 10 dudes, 10 well-trained dudes, and they'd take over this fucking city. I go, really? He goes, 10 bad motherfuckers who are well-trained and well-armed. Do you remember the North Hollywood, the bank robbery, where those crazy fucks showed up with bulletproof vests and machine guns and had a shootout with the cops on the street? It was insane. It was like a scene out of Heat. Do you remember when that cop went?
So the opposing dynamic here is I'm not here to try to take over any kind of goddamn community. So the opposing dynamic is it's one man, again, a lone wolf. Bring it. Any 10 of you, any 100 of you, any 1,000 of you, any 10,000 of you, any 100,000 of you, come excommunicate me. You can't do it. You don't have that power. This is a fucking metaverse. Get real. You want to play those games in the real world? Go play them in the real world. Not on this metaverse. Pointing your fingers and using ad hominems as if though it's an attack on me. You can't attack me. That's not an attack. How many times do I have to tell you? If you get your feelers hurt, that's on you. You're the emotional crybaby, not me. I'm a man of my word. I'll not be back on Paul's panel. Now, he has to be a man of his word and prove that he has the power and control to excommunicate me, because I have the power and control to not go on his panel by myself. It doesn't take any support. That's my power to control myself. That's what people need for their power. You don't need somebody else's power. You don't need somebody else's word. You don't need to stand up with daddy and say, I'm with daddy. Why the fuck can't you walk your own path, you fucking cucks? Sit there and come in my chat and want to run your mouth here just like you run your mouth over there and never come up on panel. Come on up on panel, Paul. Come on up on my panel, Paul. Let me dunk you, Paul. Let me stop you in the middle of your speech. Irrespectful.
Yeah. I mean,
I've always real quick here, Hank. I've always respected you, Paul. I've never disrespected you. And I've certainly never said, nor will I say, I don't respect you. I respect Hank. I respect Jack. I respect Cynthia. I respect Flo. I respect and love everybody for the people they are, because I know I deserve respect. Not for what I say and do or can or can't do, but for the simple fact that face to face, every last one of us is dangerous. And that's what needs to be respected. So again, come see me face to face, big boy. Because if you really want to get into a tussle with your 6'3", 300 pounds, I'm a skinny ass clown, and I'll climb you like a monkey and straight up tear your eyes out. Then what are you going to do without a shovel? Come see me face to face and run your disrespectful mouth saying you don't respect me then. Because you will respect me face to face.
I would not recommend that. Just talk to him.
I don't recommend he come see me face to face in that disrespectful motherfucking attitude either.
But what I will recommend is for Officer Snaps and Illuma Jeremy. I know they're telling me now saying I'm Breaking Bad. I already told Paul what I'm doing here. Just come in here and just tell me what I'm doing bad right now. I know you're still watching. So Officer Snaps, Illuma Jeremy, tell me when I'm doing bad, and give me that list I asked for, a list of approved panels.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. If I told Paul, this is all that happened, folks. If I told Paul I'm not going to be back on his panel, then what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. I just left with respect, said I just won't be on your panel anymore. That's all I did. Then he started running his mouth about how I was butthurt. No, I'm not butthurt. If I was butthurt, I'd let you know. I'd be sitting here crying. You don't see me crying. And you can pull up all those comments that you blocked and find one where I threatened you or acted like a crybaby or anything. Pull it up. Because I didn't. All I did was make common sense, logic, thought comments. Again, just like the scenario with Brian getting pulled over in the car. I guarantee you, Paul did not act like that in his own stop, yet when he poses that he's helping other people, he's going to sit there like a little child screaming on the phone.
And I disagree with you. I think what Paul did was okay. I think it was fine. I knew Brian was going to get out anyway, so I don't think it was a big deal.
Anyone's allowed on the platform, Mark. Like I said, Paul can come over on the platform as well. I don't care. If you want to sit here and troll and play the same games on Paul's panel, you're going to get knocked out. I'm going to set you down. I'm not going to allow it. So feel free to hit the link, come on up, and be a reasonable, full-grown big boy and girl, and we can have these Socratic discussions with reason and logic, and not all the butthurt feelers and emotions.
You need to repost the link, Wizard. It didn't get pinned, so repost the link and pin it, please.
Yeah, let me post the link down there. Thanks for the reminder. I forget to do that sometimes, and that's because, guys, I really don't. And it's my own fault for being inconsistent here. I really don't care if you come up on panel, even though I want people on the panel. So it's kind of a thing. I got to be reminded. I sometimes don't post it, and like I said, I'm not a producer. I don't have a technical assistant or anything. I'm doing everything on my own. I am the lone wolf in everything I do. So thanks for the reminder. It was all good for you guys to disrespect other people when you felt they needed to level up, but not when it's your turn to do the same, right, El Perro and a hard hat? So what are you doing over here trying to present that I was disrespectful? See, again, the only people I was disrespectful to were the people that were trying to throw them ad hominems against me. So it takes a stone to be thrown first. I don't go out here disrespecting people anywhere. Same thing like with Cynthia. Cynthia came up on my panel with her immunity and vaccinations and how she thought everybody else should be vaccinated because otherwise we are a danger to her. And I shut her down. The vaccinations are nothing but contracts for genocide. They have international agreements between the United States and China. While they're both sitting there pointing fingers at each other about where it started from, I don't give a fuck. They're colluding together for mass genocide, in my opinion, only. That's the way I see it. So I just don't take the vaccinations. That's my choice, not yours. And you can't impose your choices on me, just like Paul can't impose some excommunication on me.
Yeah, and if the vaccinations worked, then you're protected if you get it. So what's the big deal?
Exactly.
It's a big deal.
You want to get vaccinated, that's fine. Then you feel safe. But for you to not feel safe after you pose that you get a vaccination to make you feel safe, yet now you don't feel safe because somebody else didn't get vaccinated. How many fucking excuses are you going to make for them in your cognitive dissonance, you bitch-ass slaves?
Rogue in LA a few years back. He just started killing people. He killed a bunch.
Let's get on to the next. Oops. Did something wrong there. Okay, this is an interesting one, and it goes to the identification and how it works. And like I said, if you remove that name from that record, guess what? They don't even fucking know you're there. So pay attention to this. This is how well it works if you can do it.
As it turns out, Lowell's uncle had bribed him. So this man kidnapped someone just to get the government.
Oops.
So this man kidnapped someone just to get the government to admit that he was still alive. Basically, in 1975,
he had to go to the extremes of kidnapping somebody so they would charge him with a felony to recognize that he was alive. How fucking insane is that? This guy went for years trying to tell people that something's wrong and they wouldn't recognize it. This is because people are caught up in so much cognitive dissonance that they can't believe what's before their eyes. They refuse to believe what is right before their eyes because they're so deep in the cognitive dissonance of paying attention to that record, and that record is the only thing that's true when the record is false.
Lal Bahari went to get a loan for his business in Uttar Pradesh, India, when he was told.
Damn it.
So this man kidnapped someone just to get the government to admit that he was still alive. Basically, in 1975, Lal Bahari went to get a loan for his business in Uttar Pradesh, India, when he was told that he couldn't because he was dead. As it turns out, Lal's uncle had bribed an official to file a death certificate for him. He did this so that he could steal the half-an-acre plot of land that Lal owned. But although Lal was literally standing right there, his local government's office refused to declare him alive again. This was devastating, since without his land, Lal was completely broke, and he also couldn't do anything without an identity. However, he refused to just accept his death without a fight. He soon organized his own funeral and attended it himself. He unsuccessfully demanded compensation for his wife. See,
he even went to pose his own death and had a funeral, and they still didn't recognize, sorry, you can't have a funeral because you're already dead. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Check out the next one.
Dragon Balls. He's alive now.
Check out the next one. He even put his name on the ballots. They allowed him to put his name on the ballots to run for prime minister.
He ran for prime minister as a dead person. He went on 3 hunger strikes, and he even kidnapped his uncle's kid, hoping the police would arrest him and be forced to admit that he was alive. Instead, the police realized his plan and just refused to get involved. It was only after...
So he got away, literally got away with kidnapping his nephew's son, or his cousin's son or whatever, and they said, oh, well, we don't care. Do you see the insanity, folks? This is the modern age we live in.
I have an idea. Maybe we should just die. Maybe we should just die. Maybe that sounds interesting.
Okay, Lou. Again, if you really think he excommunicated, then you're in a fucking delusion as well. I keep going to his panel or channel every fucking day. And other people like Peniel will sit there and restream, and then I get to get on his channel and start making comments as a fucking mod. You see how stupid this is going to get? You cannot excommunicate me. I am not stupid. I know how communication works. Lube ass. Come on up, lube ass. The channel's open for you too.
So
coward. You want to go up on Paul's panel, but you don't want to come up on mine? Are you a fucking coward without daddy? Come on up, lube ass. Show yourself a man.
So, Lou, I was literally just over on Paul's panel, and Wyrd let me on. I don't see how he's doing tribalism.
Absolutely. I'm a welcoming man. Like I said, Paul can come up on my panel too. But see, that's where the problem is. Evidently, he's the coward. See what I'm saying? See, if his panel is open for me and my panel is open for him, then why is his demand that I come up on his panel? Because he has control? Like he can excommunicate me? I don't think so.
Yeah. Paul, I wouldn't say Paul's a coward. I mean, he came on
is.
Panel to show
don't
him that he was
fucking placate that he's not. He wants to come up on my panel. It's an open invitation, Paul. Just like you want to sit there and keep telling people I'm a coward because I won't come up on your panel. No, it has nothing to do with being a coward. It has to do with me standing on my word. I said I will not be back. Now, be a man of your word and prove that you have the power to excommunicate me.
Hey, he may be busy with something. He's probably eating.
I don't care. I don't care. Busy
what?
Busy what? Running 3-hour streams in 6 and 8 hours now? Remember, he keeps saying he's going to go back to 3-hour streams. What's he doing? Is he over there restreaming me now? I don't give a fuck.
I'll check. But he went on the Illuminati's panel.
I don't even need you to check.
So
I don't
wouldn't say
give
he's
a
coward.
fuck. So the point is that it's so insane, they will commit you as being dead even though you're alive. While at the same time, we're all living and they won't recognize you as a living being.
After 19 years, that law was declared alive again when one official finally decided to take a look at his case. Today, law leads the Association of Dead People to help out the more than 40,000 people in Uttar Pradesh who have also been wrongfully declared dead.
40,000 people wrongfully declared dead. And this man, it took him 19 years. Who the fuck is indoctrinated? Sure as hell isn't me. Is it
so
you?
I double checked. There is no restream.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I don't care. So the next one we got.
2 meals of oyster mushrooms a week is as good as any of the statin drugs for keeping cholesterol levels low. And they're delicious. So why not?
We know from the studies that these mushrooms are beneficial. Why aren't people using them? Why aren't clinicians recommending them to people?
The way they're educated in medical school,
I feel like we're at the time where it's changing.
It is changing. And I think,
Well, I don't know what the problem is, Kara, but at some point in time, he thinks I'm lying. That's what I get out of it. He called me. He said he does not respect me and that I'm a liar. I'm butthurt, that I'm a coward. Go ahead and prove any one of them. Prove it. You have a bit of a problem there. Yeah, exactly. What have you done for me lately? I don't give a fuck what you've done for me. Again, I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back or not. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me, because at the end of the day, it's still my responsibility to do me. So anyway, this one here is about that health issue, and this is the basic foundation that I think everybody needs to get back to, is the health, because it's the health that's the true problem in the origin. We've become a society around the world that believes that this processed food and these poison drinks are good for us, and it's not. This is part of the problem I have with my companion. I have a hard time overcoming the medical conditions that she has in a short period of time. It's been a lifelong thing for her, so it's going to take a long time to help resolve those issues. Just like it's been a couple years with my lung cancer, it's going to take a while to resolve that issue totally, if I can. I'm working on it, but it's through changing of the diet and understanding that those things are what's going to help clear your body up, including the calcified pineal gland. You've got to get over it, folks, and that's the beginning.
some of the younger physicians that I talk to, they're way more open and they're understanding a lot that there is a place for very strong pharmaceuticals, but there's also a place for helping people learn how to take care and educate so that they eat better and they look at what they surround their lifestyle with so that they actually don't have to rely on end-of-life kind of medications. They can actually promote their own well-being through the use of good foods, adding mushrooms into your diet. I mean, 2 meals of...
See, it's very important to understand how this diet works. Because again, we're alchemical bodies that act just like batteries. And there's an electrolysis that goes on when we drink fluids. And this is regulated, or this is what helps regulate our pH balance. And we have to understand that there's a pH balance of alkaline and acidic, and to fluctuate it, because that's truly what life is. It isn't a stagnant place in life where we're right at the crux, but there's a balance. We've got to fluctuate from positive to negative, positive to negative. That's how currency runs. It goes from positive to negative, negative to positive, positive. That's what currency is. Okay?
Yeah, I'm drinking more soda pop to make myself more acidic, and I think it's working.
Well, the best thing is your acidic drinks with baking soda.
I'll
Use
try that.
like water with a take a half glass of water with couple teaspoons of apple cider vinegar or orange juice or something like that, and then throw a teaspoon of baking soda in there.
I'll try that.
And there's a lot of different recipes. Yeah, just look them up on the internet. Another thing I'm working on right now is I'm going to put together a chokeberry pudding. It's another thing I recently learned about. Chokeberry pudding evidently cures cancer. Shh! Don't say that. I didn't say that. I'm going to have to edit that. No, we're just going to say that that's the word on the street. It's not coming from a medical society or anything. Somebody seems to have a high school student, matter of fact, has this theory that he seems to have been proving that it's effective against cancer. Let's see here. The next one we have.
And this is a space that is disruptive to.
What am I disrupting here?
So people could be gathering here. And so what I'm telling you is that you must move immediately.
I'm going to excommunicate you. You're gathering here where I don't want you to. Sorry, buddy. It's a public platform. I don't care how much privacy you think you want. You get it? Same fucking thing. You're the one that's monitoring free speech. You're the Karen that wants to sit there on your platform and say, you can't do that here. The fuck I can't. Bitch.
But there's no one gathering here. I'm literally in like.
Hope you enjoy those animosity or those tones of anger and stuff in that ad hominem. Does it trigger you?
Yeah.
Does it hurt your feelers?
Yeah. And if you have a problem, well, I've literally had the best chance of stopping him because I'm the only one up here to distract him. So you guys throwing peanuts, you're not doing even as good as I am. So
Appreciate that. Matthew Sims seems to think that anger causes diseases. There's a recent study out that says otherwise. You might want to do some research, buddy, instead of keep listening to everybody else and posing the same old bullshit. Come on up, Snafu.
Officer Snaps.
Officer Snaps. You afraid to run your mouth on my platform? Damn right, you fucking coward. You ain't gonna run your mouth on my platform like Daddy Paul does. See, you got a daddy too. That's why.
Can you at least give me that list? I asked for Officer Snaps. I want a list of approved panels. So can you come up here and tell me the list? I'll write it down. I have LibreOffice open already.
Yeah, exactly. So Matthew Sims, Junction City, Colorado. Is that doxing? You can look up Matthew Sims, Junction City, Colorado, and see the newspaper article. I didn't dox you. Go ahead and try to block my channel. That's a challenge, bitch. Do your investigation, bitch. Yeah, he says, go ahead and dox me. I don't give a fuck. Sure you do. That's what you use against everybody. You're the snitch. You're the snitch with 10 channels that can't handle it. You create one person at a time and don't get it. That's why I have 48 channels now, bitches. You thought 18? I got 48 channels now. I create new ones every fucking day, you bitch-ass slaves. Come stop me. Come excommunicate me, motherfuckers.
I don't believe he only has 48 channels. I really don't believe it. I think it's like more than that. Like I would estimate at the minimum.
I'm telling you, I have 40. I'm telling you, I have 48 channels.
No, you. Oh, okay. I would estimate that you had like 256 channels.
Not quite. Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
The grass.
So this first policy here is that you have
YouTube policy. See, again, when it comes to free speech, policy doesn't affect free speech. You get it? So again, snafu, go ahead and try to use YouTube policy against me. Like I said, YouTube ain't been able to excommunicate me, and neither can you. You got it, bitch?
Yeah, you're better off just coming up here and just yelling at him. I'm gonna be honest. You'd be much better off just send him the link again, please, to give him a chance to do the right thing, or at least the effective thing. So now it's on you. Come up here, do the effective thing. If you don't, I guess you'll call yourself the real man anyways, so it may not even matter. But I would disagree.
Paul is still his daddy. Hey,
Have you met his
Green.
mommy, though?
Hey, what's up, fat ass slave? Come on up, brother. This is one of those panels where you get to run your mouth if you want. Just be careful, I might censor you. Why is Mr. Wiz so upset? He's normally so joyful and jolly. How come he has a different opinion than me? See, this is the guy when I went up on Truther Cop's panel. He wanted to give me shit the first time I met him, and wanted to question me about my principles of God, and wanted to use that moniker, love to God. So now I put it, today I've got it, I don't have it up there, EBT. Today I've got, I've been excommunicated from the community because I'm trying to shove it down somebody's throat. But usually I use love to God. Yeah, love to God. So yeah. He wasn't able to use that against me because I was able to just take it and accept it. See, that's the problem. People have an issue with acceptance. I can accept Paul for what he is and tell me he doesn't want to hear that shit on his platform. I accepted it and said, okay, I won't be back. That's his problem. He's the one that's butthurt because I won't go back on his panel. Not me. I'm not butthurt because I won't go back on his panel. I'm not butthurt because of what he said. I just agree that if he's going to keep trying to make me a bit non-bit, I've already stood my ground and said, you're not going to do that. He tried to do it again. I'm done. I gave him his fair warning. He's the one that wants to act like a little child. I'm being the man I said I would be when I told him long time ago, I'm not a bit non-bit. He wants to continue using me as a bit non-bit, showing that he does not respect me, and then turns around and calls me a liar and says he doesn't respect me. So what was the whole last year and a half?
Yeah. Well, the real reason Wizard's upset is that he has his retarded autist slave on panel just annoying him. So that's the real reason Wizard's upset, EBT.
Yeah, I'm not even upset. Understand, this is just the passion that I have in me. And so when I want to call somebody a bitch-ass slave, I'm not going to sit there and say, bitch-ass slave. I'm going to do it with the emotion packed. That way you understand. It's not just some silly feeling. Come see me face to face and talk your shit then. Show how you can be a Socratic man then. Because the first time you stoop down to interrupting me and showing me that you don't respect me face to face, that's when you have a problem. And that problem is me. So let's continue on with this because, again, we're talking about where are we at? What is the community?
Have to be 50 feet from academic space.
So where is the 50 feet here? Where is the 50 feet of your community? Where am I supposed to be excommunicated to? See, that's another problem. When you exile somebody, you exile them outside of that community. So again, you have to define the community.
So you have to move immediately. You must move immediately.
So again, someone else stopped by. I told them if GVPD tells me to move, I'll move.
So if YouTube tells me I can no longer create and perform on this platform, they're the ones that can do it. And again, they haven't. I doubt they can. And if they try, guess what, Safu? The authority is not me. It is the FCC, the Federal Communications Commissions, with all of those time-stamped and security codified key entrances in both voice and keyboard. See, the FCC is the one that has all that record. That's where all those timestamps and securities codes go to. And like I said, I've been in communication with the FCC for a long time. Fuck YouTube and its policies. The FCC has different policies, and they supersede YouTube, Google, ABC, Alphabet Inc. They're the ones that control all of those federal communications that are being committed. Fucking idiots.
Yes, the Dean of Students stopped by earlier. And so we have
Yeah,
said
the Dean of Students
Dean of Students, like Paul, the daddy of the chimps.
has no authority over me. If the GVPD tells me to move, I'll move.
Daddy Paul and your chimps don't have any authority over me. None of you can excommunicate me.
but what we need
And you can keep coming over to my platform and running your mouth as if though you think you're attacking me. It's not an attack. Again, a man's intellect is limited and biased by his vocabulary. And those people that run around running their mouth like that, all they're doing is laying the rope to hang themselves. And everybody else that wants to go running around with them is going to get caught up in all those loops and tangles of that rope that they're running. So when you hang yourself, your friends are going to get hung with you. See, this is like pimp unslaved. When you have 22,000 followers and you don't know how to run your mouth appropriately, somebody excommunicates you and all of your chimps.
you to understand if GVPD, this is kind of like the warning system. If I have to notify GVPD, you will be trespassed from the university and will be arrested.
For what? Using my freedom of speech?
And this is a space that is disruptive to...
What am I disrupting here?
Exactly. What did I disrupt? Again, what did I do wrong on Paul's panel? What did I disrupt on Paul's panel? Tell us, Daddy Paul. Tell us what I did to hurt your feelers and disrupt on your panel.
Oh, I know what you did. I do this too sometimes. What we both did was talk when he wanted to talk, and that's pretty much it. But I do this too, so sometimes I just mute or leave so I can give him more floor space. His safe space, he wants the floor space to talk. He can. I'll get out of his way. That's what Wizard did at a bigger level. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, if Paul wants his platform to speak, and he doesn't want me to speak my shit on his platform, then why was he having me on his platform for a year and a half, to then turn around and tell me he doesn't want me spewing it on his platform, to then turn around and say I'm a liar and he had no respect for me, and that I'm the one that's butthurt because I said I wouldn't be back? I'm a man of my word. Are you a man of your word, Paul?
Officer Snaps, if he's taking stuff from the government, why is that bad? Is he taking your pension away, Officer Snaps?
Every week we have.
Say that again. I missed that, buddy.
Yeah, if Wizard's really taking a pension from the government, how's that a bad thing? I don't understand.
Well, yeah, if you want to bring that up, I don't get any food stamps or anything. My companion is not on welfare. She's on retirement, disability, where she worked for the government for 35 fucking years. She's already earned her keep. The only problem there is people think I'm living off of her, when you can ask her and she will tell you. Of course, I'm not going to allow it on this platform because then you're going to turn around and try to attack her. And she would take it as an attack because she doesn't see things the way I do. She would get in her feelers. And I'm not going to allow people to do that. I protect my companion. And that's what I'm doing. So when people come attack her and her accounts for credit collections and stuff, I do go to court. I do get them resolved for her. I do go to the doctors and say, hey, listen, you're billing the wrong person. According to this law here, she obtained everything on credit, and you're creating a debit. Who's wrong here? Are we wrong for asserting that it was done on credit, or are you wrong posing a debit when we get a receipt that says U.S. debit.
Yes. So what I'm requesting is for Officer Snaps to come up, take the floor, and explain to us how to do it correctly. Because we're kind of dumb. You're smart than us. You come up and explain how we do this correctly, then we can adjust our lives. So that's why I'm requesting you, Officer Snaps. Come up, explain how to do this correctly.
Yeah, explain. Am I supposed to continue doing what I'm doing here to help save money for my companion? You know, thousands of dollars when they come after her for credit collections. Or am I supposed to go out there and work a wage job to bring in a couple $100 a week and pay taxes? Am I supposed to do that? Or am I supposed to do like Paul poses, go out and get a piece of land and start my own community? As a 58-year-old man and a 67-year-old disabled woman that can't do anything, so we would have to have the community built already to help us do that. See, Paulie goes out and poses that he's building this community when he's out there living on somebody else's motherfucking land, you ignorant fucks.
Yeah, and I'm young enough.
Land?
Yeah, I'm young enough.
Somebody else's land. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I'm young enough to do that, but I'm going to be honest, the people up in Pittsburgh, I barely want to spend time around them. So how am I going to build a community out of these people here when they're so weak? I don't really want to commune with over 99% of them, to be honest.
Absolutely. Same here. That's why I said yesterday in my past, I did a little social experiment myself because I decided to isolate. And so what I did was anytime I went out into public, where if I had to go into a big crowd or something, I would take an empty bag with me. And I would literally just start talking to the empty bag in public. And I'll be damned if people didn't part like the Red Sea and just let him go by. We don't want nothing. And I got to go in, do my business, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I take my computer around in that bag and it has the same effect, except I have a computer with me.
Yeah. And it's just, see, everybody has to learn their own existence. And again, it's just a big social experiment. Society itself is just a big social experiment to try to figure out how to advance and keep it together. But again, it's that supply and demand chain where people are demanding things because they want it in their cognitive dissonance of comfort and convenience. And that's only because they don't know how to do it themselves. Oh no, that's too much work. I can't live on my own. I got to have somebody else provide this dwelling for me so I can buy it because I can't build it. So let's look at this next one. This is going to be the last one, and then I'm out for the night. And I got a little comment to make after I'm done, and then I'll let you have your piece there, Hank.
Well, it seems like every week we have a new politician that is telling us why they need more power in order to deal with the mental health crisis in America. And I just want to say that if you're one of those same politicians that believes a 16-year-old should be able to get a sex change operation, maybe you're not the best person to deal with the mental health crisis.
Just saying.
Unless, of course, you're trying to exacerbate it, in which case you're doing a bang-up job.
And that's what we're looking at, folks. Again, that goes to that public education system and you giving up your responsibility as moms and dads to train your child up in the ways of the Lord spiritually and hand them over to a dogmatic system that's going to bring them up in mental delusions. How do you feel about that, Hank? How do you feel about this educational system being the foundation of the mental delusion as I see it?
Yeah, I really do not like the psychology institutions at all. I think it's bad science. In fact, so-called the blockbuster landmark studies keep getting overturned because the experimental setup was flawed. It's just and worse off, if you so inclined to visit them, they're just going to spew the same stuff you read on Psychology Today for free. So I'm not a big fan of psychology or education institutions. You just talk to people who graduate from them. You'll come to the same opinion as me, that they're just not doing their job, and teachers expect to be paid more. Yeah, I'm okay with paying teachers more as long as we have fewer teachers. So they have to struggle and fight to be the best.
Well, yeah, and the only way we're going to have fewer teachers is to have fewer students. The only way to have fewer governments is to have fewer slaves, or fewer government officials is to have fewer slaves. And this is the concept that keeps driving this society, is that we want to keep building bigger and bigger societies so that the people in control can control more and more people. We have to get out of this supply and demand chain. Come out of her. Radio Guru says, took a while to wake up to Paul's hypocrisy. He justifies the value he gives Jennifer, but Wiz has no right to offer Joyce value. That's exactly the way I see it too. You know, you want to sit there and pose that you're helping Jennifer with her house situation, and the same thing I'm doing with my companion is helping her with her housing situation. Like I said, that rental agreement, I made an amendment to it along with many other definitions. That the first definition was rental agreement means credit agreement. Let's get that for understood first. We're not going to create a debt. We're going to use the credit system so that the debt is relieved. Cowboy Ken was ran off for having a wife as a shill driver. The irony. Yeah, I remember Ken. Ken was the guy with the cowboy hat and the beard and everything that lived in a trailer or something, was working everything he could do for his wife, living off the land and this and that. And Paul ran him off with his hypocrisy. I agree. You know, there are many people out there that are doing the same kind of things that Paul and I both are doing, and I'm not saying we're different. I'm just saying evidently Paul sees me as being hypocritical and wants to point out that I'm supposedly lying and that he has no respect for me. I've never lost respect for Paul. I've never lost respect for Jack. I understand what the term respect and love mean, and they work cohesively together, that you have to respect not just the love that somebody else can put out, but the danger that they can be if you don't act accordingly face to face, bitches.
Yeah, I have lost respect for Jack when he did this No Secrets campaign, and then when I pressed him on it, he said, well, I'm going to keep my secrets. So I did lose respect for Jack.
Well, again, I think that goes to a different aspect as to the concepts and ideas. As a physical man, I respect Jack for that, and I understand where he's coming from, but I also understand the same thing Hank says, that it's an impossible dream. So that is not something that I can respect as an impossible dream. Of course not. So there isn't really anything to respect or disrespect. Okay. So my respect, the connotation of respect I'm talking about, is the physical presence of knowing that in the image and likeness of God, I'm supposed to fear God for what he can do, because that other man, just like I'm a pass-through, that other man is a pass-through too. So understand, when you come to me face to face, this is why I develop relationships on the spiritual connection first. I do not care about anything else. If you cannot come to me spiritually, I see it right away. I see that you're caught up in the Babylonian system, and that if I want to have anything to do with you, I must be able to work with that. I must be able to try to uncover your spirituality. I must be able to try to find your talents, not your babble. So when it comes to Jack, I want to ask everybody out there, Paul included, and all you motherfucking chimps, has anybody given any consideration to get a hold of Jack on this day and find out how he's doing, and let him know that you do support him as a man, and know that the terrible situation he's in might find him desolate, that he has somebody he can go to? Has anybody done that? I have.
No, today, no. I done it last week, but he's one track, so I really can't do much to help him.
And when I get done here, I'm going to check in once more with YouTube to see if anything's going on over there, because he didn't post at 5 o'clock like normal. So I gave him a little text, a couple of them. And after I get done here, I'm going to check again if he's not there. I've got another phone call to make first, but then I'm going to get a hold of Jack and by phone and see if he's still there. See, this is the thing that most people don't consider. Everybody deems me as this angry old man because of my interaction with Jack. And how many times do I have to tell you that sometimes it's these trials and tribulations that men go through? And it goes the same with Paul, that we get through these discords, these discourses, and mend those things. That's what truly makes a solid relationship. So come on up, Paul. Anytime. You're welcome. Or if you want to set up a third party, non-interested panel, I don't care if it's Thorpe's, Flo, or anybody else, find somebody that's not interested between me and you, and we can go up and have that debate using Socratic logic and see if you're man enough to stand up to the Socratic method and keep your mouth shut when another full-grown man is speaking until he's done speaking, because even City Hall gives you 3 minutes, and there ain't many times you're going to find that I speak more than 3 minutes than in the videos that I do to try to expose the information. Otherwise, on these panels, I generally keep it to minimum or a maximum of 3 minutes. I don't think you'll ever find me speaking more than 3 minutes. So I dropped the link down there.
Okay,
I
so
believe.
Blue Bass, officer snaps do not feel like coming up. Richard's gonna go touch grass soon, so I gave you the opportunity to get your shots in. I really can't do much yet to help you anymore.
Oh, our poll says Brian O'Shea is restreaming me. So again, if you're restreaming me, Brian, again, just like Paul, not going back to those situations where they have issues with you and not clearing it up and ending up with warrants for both you and Paul. See, while you guys profess that I'm not doing anything, I keep appearing down in those courts and keep asking them questions about that last case where they demanded that I give them a DNA sample, that I pay them fines, that I do a drug eval. How come you're not putting a warrant out for me on that one? How about the other 11 citations prior to that where I put UCC 1-308 and never showed up in court? How come they're not putting out warrants for failure to appear for those? How come? Because I'm still here, I'm still addressing them, I'm still in communication with them, and they are still watching my videos.
So a police officer really has to suck your dick. Interesting. I think that's where the DNA sample comes from, right? Oh, okay.
Radio Guru says I was a contributor to Paul and have not one regret. It was a good investment. He's planting good seeds. Just don't get all caught up in his weeds. Exactly right. And I agree. I agree 100%. Don't get caught up in his weeds. Everybody's got weeds. I got weeds. It's called the ghosts in the closet. And in the meantime, I'm an open book. If you find something I'm not fully aware of, this is why I ask people to come up on panel. If I'm wrong, I don't want to sound like an idiot. Other people seem to have a problem.
Well, look, we don't have to worry. We have Patrick and Brian. They're gonna unbuzz us, and I may go over there and unbuzz me as well. So someone's gonna do something, hopefully.
Well, again, it doesn't. To me, guys, it doesn't matter what you do. Let me give you the last few lines of something I wrote up in regards to Paul, and I did it on Flow State's channel. And a little rap I wrote up, and it ended up, you can't battle me or rattle me. Just like you can't paddle me, you can't saddle me or straddle me like cattle be, because it doesn't matter to me what you blabber to me, because you're not badder than me. You're just fatter than me. And you got flatter feet than me. So go ahead and grab the back seat with your flat feet, because this is 10G you can't beat with your cracked teeth and chapped cheeks. So go ahead and take the bad beat. With that, you got anything else?
I don't think so. I may go. I'm getting tired of been streaming for a little long. I may go over there and criticize me over here because I probably did something wrong. I'm still unfortunately, Officer Snap still didn't give me the list of approved panels yet, so I'm gonna assume I'm allowed to be on Brian O'Shea's panel still. So let's see. But if I shouldn't go on Brian O'Shea's panel, I need you to give me the message right now because I'm probably going to go there in like 2 minutes. So, Officer Snaps, I need that list.
All right, where are you going, Brian's?
I might as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know me, folks. I want to thank Hank for your attendance on the panel. I appreciate it. And like I said, guys, anybody's welcome on the panel. And I am a Nazi fucking censor. If I don't like what you have to say, I will knock you down. I'm not afraid to say that. But it's only on my panel. Go ahead and keep running your mouth in chat. I don't care. See, you can't attack me. I know what you have to say in this metaverse is just fictional shit. You can't manifest it here. Are you stupid? So in the meantime, again, thanks for everybody for your support. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Me on the way out, there's a PayPal link down in the chat or in the details for anybody who wants to share some love. And of course, on my way out, guys, you know me. I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. So, and that's to say, I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. That's on you. So may God bless you and have a good night.